Hi guys, this is Thomas, and this is my channel Inside Narcissism. My plot twist, my unique selling point is that I work as a therapist in Germany. I treat people after narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships, like 2 to 5 clients, 5 to 6 days a week. This is my work on a daily basis. And I used to be a pathological narcissist in the past and still have very strong narcissistic traits. So I'm sort of a double agent. I can tell you from a therapeutical standpoint what narcissism is, what a toxic relationship is, and also I can tell you from the inside, from the inside of my soul, what being a narcissist feels like. I have been healing quite a bit from narcissism, and am currently not diagnosed as a narcissist, but I have been in the past. So I think that's what all people want to know, right? My narcissist, the toxic abuser in my relationship, won't talk to me openly, will lie to me, is not open to bettering our relationship, does not want to go to a therapy or stuff. But I may be the missing link. I may be the double agent you need to understand more about narcissism, being a therapist and a narcissist in a wider sense of the word. And I want to talk in this video, and this will be a series, of course, about how narcissism is evolving in the child and in the person later on, and what does it feel like to be a narcissist, and maybe how can you heal somewhat from this personality disorder. Okay, let's start off. I think that my narcissistic strong traits I have had in the past and still have in close relationships where have a genetical part in them. I think it was highly likely that under stress in my childhood I would develop such traits, and also my bad childhood is something that fueled my narcissistic strategies of maintaining control and order and power, whereas in my soul I felt a lot of chaos, fear, anger, and abandonment. It's a mixture, and the reason why I think I have been able to heal out of the of the pathological spectrum of narcissistic traits is that my narcissism was linked to complex post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD, and this is why with hard crises, rock bottoms in my life, I have had the chance to really understand that I am the source of all conflicts in the outside world. Not everyone else's fault, but it's my own fault that I'm behaving like an asshole. Typical narcissist, you know them. If you're watching this video, you know what narcissists do. They blame shift. They're blame shifting constantly, refusing to take responsibility for conflicts, and are constantly blaming you or other people for all of the problems. You are the reason why I got angry and had to punch you in the face or yell at you or whatever I did, whatever he did. My narcissism was linked to complex trauma and through hard struggles and rock bottoms and existential crises. I had the ability to understand that I'm sort of the problem. So I think in my family, it is coming from 2 generations of World War veterans in Germany. I mean, it's quite clear there was little understanding, there was little warmth, little. My father and also my mother were traumatized by their parents, and their parents were traumatized in war during war times. So it's not to blame anyone, just saying that I might have a quite high genetical probability to develop narcissistic traits as well. And what I define as narcissism is that in the early childhood, there's you have no close bond, no sound, close, healthy bond to your mother. And later on, you have a bad relationship with your father as well. You tend to to drift away from your feelings. Abspaltung, we call it in Germany. So you put your feelings inside a bubble and get away from there as fast as possible, because if your mother cannot care for you, cannot give you warmth, and as an early child, talking about the child being 1 to 3 years old or something, yeah, it feels like dying. And children can actually die from being emotionally neglected. But the crazy thing about us humans and all life in general is how sturdy we are, how capable, even when we are so vulnerable in early childhood, like with 1 year old, you can still activate strategies to not die from emotional neglect from the mother, right? So this is the crazy part, but you pay you pay the toll later, you know. If you there are on YouTube, there are studies online, you can look them up, where a former good mother is presenting herself to the 1-year-old child as emotionally abstinent from 1 second to the other for 2 minutes. And you can see the whole process the child goes through, trying to cope with that, the mother, the sun, the warmth, the center of the life of the child, everything secure and good is the mother. And if the mother withdraws, the child in 2 minutes goes through all kinds of strategies to deal with this existential pain. And the last resort is actually splitting up from the expectance that the mother will care. If the child cries, if a baby cries, and the mother does not come, over and over and over again, the child will eventually self-control itself by splitting up from emotions. And this is the strategy that later on can lead to borderline and narcissism. And if you know more about narcissism and borderline, I mean, Dr. Sam Vaknin, the idol, on his channel, has been talking a lot about this. They're on the same spectrum, you know, borderline and narcissism. So I think when my mother confessed to me like 3 years ago on Christmas under tears that my problem I was struggling with was not what I thought at this point, was not my father, who committed suicide when I was 9 and disclosed the fact that he will end his life to me and to me alone. And first of all, I lost my father, I lost my idol, my beloved father, and also I was carrying this guilt. I could have done something about it if only I had understood what he was trying to say me 1 day prior to his suicide. You know, this was the condition I was dealing with too. But she, under tears, confessed to me that actually my problem wasn't not only my father, but she confessed to me that she was emotionally neglecting me from the first day on. She was not giving me milk. This is something that something can be done about this. No, it's not a problem if the mother cares. But she was dealing with her own problems. She was dealing with domestic violence with my father, and she was under trauma, and she couldn't really bond with me. And you know, if the mother cannot bond with a baby, there's some damage done in the child, you know. And so I had the clue that maybe the real problem was that I have not had any security in my central nervous system. So yeah, what I was doing is like I quit the expectancy of hoping that my mother would give me warmth and tenderness and security. And was in a latency state. I was mentally evolving rapidly under the stress. I was not the victim. I was not born to be a big victim. This is maybe what we can see as genetically predisposal. I do not function as a victim. I cannot do this. It's not my personality. It's not my habit. I'm not the victim. I'm the aggressor. And this was my strategy. I was mentally evolving very fast. I was able to walk with 8 months and to talk with 1 year, with 12 months. And not goo gaga talking, but really talking. So it's also said that narcissists overperform and unleash their full human potential out of pain. This is their strategy, to overperform, and this is what I ultimately did. I overperformed in school and in sports, and so I didn't have any connection to my feelings. I felt this primal anxiety, this primal belief I was not worth love of my mother and later on of my father because he left me. Like the primal guilt, the primal pain. This is the state. This is the feeling the narcissist disconnects from, and I disconnected from this too. And there was not a problem because an efficient narcissist, an efficient, successful, grandiose-malign narcissist has no problem if he controls everything, if he rules everything. In school, I could punch my teacher. I could give grades to. I influenced teachers to give certain grades to certain of my classmates. I had a very distinct position in class because I was the best from school, and I was one of the best in my football team, in my soccer team. Sorry, if you're watching this in the United States. And so, I had no problem. I didn't need any feelings. I only needed to conquer, and the world was my battleground, and I was the severe, aggressive leader. And people followed me because, the society works that way, I was like winning everything. And the strategy worked like until my youth. Then my father died, and what I had left of connection with my feelings at the age of 9 went totally down the drain. There was a latency period as well, from 9 to 11, and from 11 on I remember having close to no contact to my emotional respondency in my emotional system at all. And this ended with my suicide attempt when I was 18. And after that, this was my first rock bottom, my first existential crisis, which I really efficiently used to revolutionize my complete system. I will talk about this. It's really interesting what I naively did to heal myself. The period between 11 and 18 years was like everyone around me was evolving, was learning social skills, was having their first high school love relationships, and I couldn't partake. I couldn't be part of this. And of course, deep down, I wished I could take part in this, but being so severely disconnected from my emotional system, I went full head mode, and I developed this state of grandiose-malign narcissism, where I said, you stupid animals, I am like an alien to you. It's so, how come we are the same species? I mean, this is also, I understand it. It's so, your motifs are so boring. They're so predictable, and I'm so intelligent, and grandiose narcissism. And the problem was, the strategy worked more or less well in school. I was the best, or one of the best in school. The problem was that I not only had, at this point, I think I had a pathological narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. Of course, I cannot know for sure, but I'm a therapist right now. I know the criteria. I work with many, many people in the spectrum. But of course, a narcissist doesn't go to treatment, doesn't seek treatment. That's the problem. But you have to believe me. I thought I was an alien. And I was so arrogant. I was blame shifting all the time. All the people were like trash to me, I was so full of hate and anger, and couldn't even feel it. So I was totally emotionally numb under the effects of complex trauma. And so in this toxic wasteland of my soul, the narcissism could evolve. Also, my mother didn't push me towards therapy, although she knew that she had spoiled me as a toddler, that my father had spoiled me and left me and my whole family, of course. And I was very, very a strange person in my youth. I was dabbling with occultism, and which is a spiritual path to enlightenment, like any other, you could say. Nothing bad about this, but if a 15-year-old goes into occultism and is not healthy, he should develop his basics first before he does these very intense experiments with reality, And of course, also I was starting to drink because my whole social anxiety, my whole insecurity, which I was masking with my narcissistic mask that I had. I'm the best, I'm the toughest, I'm the leader, but I'm totally dying inside, I was drinking to be able to drink me down to their level, I was thinking. But what I was really doing was taking a medicine naively, which would have had real heavy impact on me later on, because alcohol takes a toll on you, of course. It's bad medicine, and all I was doing is like treating my dissociative symptoms I had, anxiety, the feeling that I cannot feel the outer limits of my body. I was dissociating in a brain fog situation with psychotic elements and fear, very crazy emotional roller coaster rides. Not the fear of who am I going to turn out in like 5 minutes. I feel like this way, but in 5 minutes it's not granted that I feel still this way. And I didn't really feel connection to myself, of course, because I was disconnected from my feelings. And so I could not feel like a core personality or something. That's one big issue with narcissism and also with borderline, the belief or the feeling that you don't have a true self. And many narcissism bashing online, people taking sides of the victims, of the narcissistic abuse victims, which is a thing, of course, but you have to understand that people like me in my toxic years do not have a feeling of any form of self, and are if narcissism is a trauma response, then it's something like you are undergoing constant fear. Who are you going to be in like 3 minutes? You cannot predict yourself. There's nothing you have no security. Like it's the reenactment of your existential anxiety because your mother wouldn't care for you. Okay, so yeah, that's real bad. I was having these dissociative symptoms. I was treating it with alcohol and arrogance, and toxic behavior, mobbing other people. And yeah, all this led to my own suicide attempt. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk one thing prior. I was going into the satanism route. I was going down the worshipping Satan stuff. I didn't kill any animals or people, but I had this dark mysticism where I thought, I'm so much not myself, totally disconnected, and so little myself, and my little self, my vulnerable, my hurt inner child, was so underdeveloped and so out of reach. Maybe it would be better to just expand the non-self, the grandiose false self, to my whole existence. And I tried to do this by having this dark form of mysticism where I thought I had to kill all left traits of human feeling inside myself to become a vessel for the pure Satan energy or whatever I was thinking at the time and I did this listening to black metal. I did this wearing occult and Satanism symbols. I did this. It was very obvious I was having severe mental issues at the time, and my mother still wouldn't push me towards therapy. So yeah, this is also a bad thing. So in this toxic soup I was digesting all the time of trying to kill my conscience, any kind of what was left of my empathy I would try to kill. Maybe I was a child who had a lot of empathy and was very fine-tuned, had fine senses, but yeah, my parents and my situation, they trampled upon this. And so I had only very little left. So I tried to kill this, and you cannot live without empathy. You cannot live with any form of connection to yourself. If your narcissistic strategies fail, then you cannot live with them. And mine surely failed because I felt all this anxiety and social anxiety and these attacks, fear attacks and panic attacks I had. So I was a very inefficient, hurt and traumatized narcissist. And so the strategy in both ways didn't work. I couldn't be a total asshole, grandiose narcissist and just stick with it. And I couldn't reach my feelings to heal my trauma. So in this void of existence, the first love, the first high school or senior high school love I had was enough to totally derail me. It didn't turn out well, or at least I thought it didn't turn out well. She loved me, I loved her, or what we thought was love, idealization, love, this kind of love. But still, I projected all my hopes and of any kind of good feeling inside of myself into her, and it didn't work out at first try, and it didn't work out easily. So it was enough. I had a nervous breakdown at a discotheque in Berlin at the Matrix after 4 bottles of champagne and many liters of beer. I mean, this in itself is so ridiculously lot intake of alcohol that it's you can be prone to a nervous breakdown. And I linked all this with all the trauma and stuff. So I said, yeah, I want to jump down skyscraper in Berlin. And luckily I told my best friend. He realized this was not the usual dramatic Thomas move, trying to be the center of attention in this vulnerable narcissistic strategy. It was real. I was having nervous breakdown and I was about to do it. And so he went with me. He took me home and said, yeah, you have to come off alcohol, and I will stick with you, and you won't jump down any building this tonight, not under my rule, you know. And so he prevented me from suiciding as well, like my father. And this was like the ultimate narcissistic collapse, actually. The first thing I thought was not, damn, I nearly lost my life under the influence of alcohol and depression or whatever. Damn, I just, I had to accept that the help of another person is the only thing is the only reason I'm still alive. And this was not something emotional that I grieved that I nearly had lost my life. I had a narcissistic collapse. Yeah, you know, as a narcissist, it's really hard to accept help, real help. You know, a vulnerable narcissist likes to get help all the time. You know, likes to be the man-child and stuff. But it's to real help, it's very hard to accept, because I, of course, at least myself, I have a avoidant relationship pattern. You know, I over exaggerate my need to be autonomous and to be free for myself, and have ambivalent feelings towards bonding with other people. And yes, so but I was the lessons I learned from this suicide attempt still was really, really good. I was very consequent in thinking it through, and I said, okay, you know, you're an asshole for many years. It's really questionable why all my friends haven't ditched me by this point in time. Why have I always been allowed to be with the cool kids, you know, and haven't been mobbed, haven't been received mobbing myself? So maybe it would be a good idea to, if your self-love doesn't suffice for yourself, for living your life and not committing suicide, maybe it would be a good idea to try to live for other people, try to give something back, you know, because nothing is sufficient for yourself. So try to shift your focus in life. And this was a quite good idea, actually. It was a good idea. I really tried to heal myself, and to I know there was the main source of my problem was, you know, you can have healthy narcissistic strategies. You can be a grandiose narcissist and have little to no problems in life. You know, if you are efficient and outspoken and open about it, it's no problem. It's a strategy, you know. But if you cannot help it, if you're stereotypically responding with the same patterns over and over again, only then it's a pathological personality disorder. Okay, so I knew that my trauma was the problem, my dissociative symptoms, my social anxiety, my fear and panic attacks were the problem. And over a course of 6 years, I naively, still without seeking the help from a therapist, I naively did like everything I could in my power in all branches of life to heal myself and to solve this trauma. And actually I did succeed. 6 to 7 years later, at the age of 25, I was having the first breakthrough in my development, where I actually could go beneath hatred and arrogance and anger, and feel the pain and the sadness I was my inner child was still having. Daddy, why have you been leaving me? Daddy, I miss you so much. There's nothing I can do. All I want is for you to be here, and I want to talk to you, and I need your help. These were the sentences that were pouring out of me after these 6 years of intense, naive trauma therapy. I was doing with myself. I will talk about this at a later point. And so I was having like 2 days of hallucinating while being awake. I didn't take any drugs. It was just like me, myself. I was seeing myself as a small child and a big giant who was my father over the course of 2 days, crying, weeping, hallucinating, talking with my daddy, and then the arrogance and the disconnecting from myself, and the anger and the hatred was gone, and something in my nervous system, the trauma state, the aroused state of mind, the fear, fight or flight modus was more or less gone. A feeling I had didn't just go down the drain. I was like a container for water with lots of holes in it, and I could suck energy out of other people. I was an emotional vampire. Emotional vampirism is a thing with narcissists. You feel it when your throat becomes very dry, and you feel like strangulated, and your chest becomes narrow, and you don't feel well in the presence of another person. This is the effect of emotional vampirism. If so much negativity from a person, and he tries to suck you the liveness, your lively energy out of you. And this I did for many years, and I would fill up myself with energy, and I had so many holes in my container that everything was going rapidly away, and this was my problem. And after I had these 2 days of trauma healing experience, it was gone. First I had a connection to my feelings again, and the energy wouldn't leak out of me. And this has been changing everything. And from this point on, I knew what was my problem, and I knew I had to start feeling again. I had to make the connection again to my feelings, and I will talk about this in detail, what I did to reconnect with my feelings, to end the disconnection with my feelings. And in the narrower sense of the word, narcissistic personality disorder, when I reestablished a connection to my feelings, narcissism as a diagnostical, as a clinical diagnose could not persist, of course. At 25, when I had this backlink to my feelings, I wasn't a narcissist anymore. But before that, I really was. And I will talk at length about what I did. I hope you don't think I want to portray me as a victim or something. This is absolutely not what I want. Just want to tell you what it feels like to be a narcissist, and I will make several distinctions between narcissistic strategies and narcissistic personality disorder on the other hand, and my struggles were because of my trauma and not because of my narcissism in the first place. Of course, narcissism causes a lot of drama and trauma on its own, but you have to understand this. And my genetical predisposal was being the aggressor, being the leader, and trying to control my inner chaos, and this was my strategy. I hope you liked the video. This was the first video of many, I think. If you like my personal content, then just make sure to follow the channel. I already have a very successful channel with the same topic in German, so this is only the attempt to reach out to tell you what the struggles of a narcissist are, so you can not that you have empathy for your narcissist and don't go into no contact, and don't end the toxic relationship. This is not what I want. I just want to tell you what the other side feels like, so you can understand. I try to connect both sides, you know, the co-narcissists and the narcissists and the narcissistic victims and the narcissist. Yes, I have been a victim in my childhood, but it's at no point in time this justifies what I have done to my partners in relationships. So just to make clear, I'm very, very strict with myself, sometimes too much, and this is nothing I want. I don't want to be. I don't want to say, yes, look at me, I'm the victim or something. I just want to tell you about narcissism because I know it firsthand, and I'm also a therapist. And yeah, you will have to live with the contradiction in this sentence, because yes, it's quite strange. Someone who says I'm a former pathological narcissist. Now I still have a lot of narcissistic traits, and in certain stress circumstances, I also sometimes go back to my toxic behavior, and still I'm a therapist and I'm able to help a lot of people. And how this comes to be, why this is maybe a good idea, why my clients really enjoy working with me and do not feel sucked out of energy or being narcissistically abused. You will learn later on. And yeah, I hope you liked the video, and please pardon my English, you know, I'm a German, I'm not a native speaker, and until the next video, thanks for your attention, thanks for sticking around, and I am Thomas from Inside Narcissism. Until the next time, have a good day, bye bye.